Penn Station?
Have you heard any good jokes lately?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have.
So he looks out the window, and he sees this three-legged chicken running right alongside the car.
The woman says, I need a tattoo of Muhammad Ali on my right thigh and a tattoo of Mike Tyson on my left thigh.
Last night, I slept like an attorney.
So Moses says to his people, the good news is I whittled him down to 10. The bad news is...
The man says to the waitress, I'd like an elephant ear sandwich.
We hear jokes all our lives. One-liners, shaggy dogs. Jokes about lovers, jokes about lawyers, even jokes with talking frogs.
The elephant says, I'd do anything if you could help me. And the little mouse says, anything?
Some jokes are clean, but if they're not, that might just be preferred. And there's no such thing as an old joke if it's one you've never heard.
This wrestler defeated his last 10 opponents with this thing he calls the pretzel hold.
Most people can't remember jokes, but we all know someone who does. Could be your brother, a student, or friend at work who gives you that laughter buzz.
Then the drunk says, I don't remember eating that.
That's a good one. Did you hear about the new Japanese-Jewish restaurant?
No?
It's called Sosumi.
Say, aren't you the bloke who wrote the New York City cab driver's joke book?
That's me.
That's the funniest joke book I've ever seen.
Thanks. Wait a minute. Didn't I see you get decapitated at the end of that movie, Hudson Hawk?
Yes, I'm in New York recuperating from that one.
Listen, tonight I'm shooting a joke party for television with my favorite joke tellers. Would you like to come along and sit in?
Fantastic, I'd love to.
Great, but I'm running a little late, so hold on to your head.
I'll supply the jokesters, and the laughter is your part. Get set for Punchline Power. The joke party's about to start.
Punchline Power.
What's the difference between a guy falling out of a building 15 stories and a guy falling out 1 story? Yeah. The man falling out 15 stories goes, ah! The guy falling out 1 story goes, ah!
80-year-old woman goes to the doctor for a physical. After he's done, he looks at her mystified. He says, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're pregnant. She goes crazy. She goes to the phone, she calls her husband, she goes, you old coot, you got me pregnant! And he waits a second, he goes, who is this?
Another old man joke. Old man and old lady are driving in the car. She's driving, and she's very hard of hearing. So they're driving along, and they get pulled over by a cop. So walks over, rolls down the window. He says, Madam, do you know you were doing 70 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone? The lady looks up, she says, what? The old man leans over, he says, he says you were doing 70 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. She says, oh. Cop says, let me see your license and your registration. The old lady says, what? The old man leans over and says, he wants to see your license and your registration. She says, oh, okay. Takes it out, hands it to the cop. The cop's like, oh, folks, I see you're from Ohio. Old lady says, what? The old man leans over and says, he can tell by your license that we're from Ohio. She says, oh. Cop says, you know, I had my worst sexual experience in Ohio. Old lady says, what? The old man leans over and says, he says he thinks he knows you.
This car is swerving in and out of traffic. Crazy. Cop pulls up alongside. Okay, buddy, pull over. So he pulls over. He says, you are going pretty good back there. He says, by the way, where have you been? Going to a fire?
He says, no, I've been at the pub.
He says, well, do you know 2 intersections back? Your wife fell out of the car.
He goes, oh, thank God, I thought I was going deaf.
Oh, Donald, why don't you tell the one you told me in the cab?
Oh, yeah. This woman walks into the bar and she's got a little chihuahua dog on a leash. She sits at the bar and on the stool next to her is this drunk rolling around. He throws up. Splat! Knocks the little dog flat. He's struggling there in the pool of vomit. He looks down, he says, I don't remember eating that.
3 guys are comparing bars from their respective hometowns. The first guy, an Irish guy, He says, well, up in Boston, we got this place called Patty's. Now you go into Patty's, you buy your first drink, you buy your second drink, and Patty will give you the third one on the house. Second guy, a guy from New York, he says, well, in Brooklyn, we got this place called Vinny's. Then you go into Vinny's, you buy 2 or 3 drinks. Vinny will give you the rest of the night for free. Third guy, Polish guy, he says, well, in Chicago, we got this place, Bob's. Now, you go into Bob's, you get your first drink for free, you get your second drink for free, you get your third drink for free, and a bunch of guys take in a back room and get you laid, all for free. Wow, that's really remarkable, says the Irish guy. Yeah, says the guy from New York, that's really incredible. Did that actually happen to you? Polish guy says, well, it didn't happen to me personally, but it happened to my sister.
These 2 English guys, and they're sitting in their club in London, right? And the first guy says to the other, he says,
I went on a safari last year to Africa.
and the other one says, oh, yes. Did you have a good time?
He said, oh, yes, it was bloody wonderful. I was walking along the veldt area. I had my gun at my ready, and I came upon this huge outcropping of rocks. And sitting atop the rocks was this huge lion ready to pounce. And I went, ah! Well, I just pooped my trousers.
And the other fellow says, well, yeah, I understand. I probably would have done the exact same thing in the same circumstances.
He says, no, not then, just now, when I went, ah!
That was a great restaurant, wasn't it, honey?
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, sweetums.
Oh, thanks, dear. Excuse me. What is this?
It's for you.
I don't have a headache.
Gotcha!
Why is wonton soup a Jewish American princess's favorite soup?
Why?
I should know this.
Because it spells not now backwards.
That's good. The base commander at the local army base in Mobile, Alabama, gets a phone call. Colonel, this is Mrs. Beauregard, the chairman of the Mobile Country Club Cotillion. We're having our annual debutante ball this Saturday night, and 3 of our young ladies do not have escorts for the ball, and I would like you to supply 3 of your finest young officers to escort our young debutantes. Colonel says, no problem. She said, I only have 3 requirements. First of all, I insist on absolute punctuality. The ball begins at 8:30 sharp, and I want your 3 young officers to be there at 8:30 sharp. Second, I insist on neatness. Your officers must wear their finest dress uniforms. And thirdly, of course, no Jews. Well, the base commander says, yes, ma'am, it'll be arranged. And 8:30 sharp, Jeep pulls up, 3 nattily attired, full-dress uniform, black second lieutenants step out of the Jeep and walk up to the lady. She says, yes, gentlemen, may I help you? Yes, ma'am, we're here to meet our dates. Well, gentlemen, I'm sure there's some mistake. No, ma'am. I might make mistakes, and you might make mistakes, but Colonel Goldberg, he never makes mistakes.
All right. Little old Jewish man gets on a plane. He's looking for a seat, and he has a seat in the aisle. And he notices that 2 people next to him, 2 Arabs, sitting next to him. So he takes off his shoes, he starts to relax, and kind of starts to fall asleep. And the Arab that's sitting next to the window gets up, and he says, I'm very thirsty, I have to get a Coke. The Jewish guy says, no, sit, relax, I'll get it for you. He goes to get the Coke. The Arab sees that his shoes are there, and he spits in one of his shoes. The Jew comes back, he gives him the Coke, he says, here's your Coke, enjoy it, please. He sits down, he starts to get comfortable again, he's going to go to sleep. Now the Arab in the middle gets up, he says, you know, that Coke looks so good, I think I'm going to get a Coke myself. The Jewish guy says, no, sit down, relax, I'll get you the Coke. He goes to get the Coke. Now this Arab spits in his other shoe. Comes back, gives him the Coke, he says, here's your Coke, I hope you enjoy it. Now finally he sits down, he relaxes, and he goes to sleep. A couple of hours go by and the plane lands. Now everybody's getting their stuff. The Jewish guy puts his shoes on, he gets up. As soon as he gets up, he realizes what's been going on. He turns to the Arab guys. He says, when is it going to end? When is it going to end? The spitting in the shoes, the pissing in the coat. Eric, would you do a song for us?
Yes. From the ice floes of the Arctic to the shores of fair Japan, there's an actor I admire, and I'm not his only fan. I've seen his every picture upon the silver screen. You'd know him if you saw him. He's rather large and green. Ichini Sanchi go. Godzilla, Godzilla, to me you're still a star. You're bigger than Brando. You're more bizarre than Barbra Streisand. Critics berate you. Railroads downright hate you, but we all know how talented you are. Godzilla, Godzilla, your gifts are heaven sent. And leveling Asia sure does pay the rent. Maybe someday Dinosaur will co-star with a dinosaur, and then by God, Godzilla, you can give those pithy snobs what for. I know you're bitter and dour, and it galls. Akira Kurosawa won't return your calls. But I've seen your Macbeth, I've seen your Willie Loman, and you make Dustin Hoffman look like Frosty the Snowman. So, Godsey, baby, your star is on the rise, just like Rodan and Mothra and all the other guys. The message from Hollywood is clear. Prehistorics coming back this year, leaping lizards. Prehistorics coming back this year.